Welcome back to Peacock TV. Spoilers. Today is Thursday, a beautiful day to unpack the absolute madness unfolding in our favorite fictional town of Salem. We have been tracking these Friday, August 28th spoilers for weeks, and let me tell you, the community is feeling completely breathless after that latest cliffhanger. The stakes have never been higher, the betrayals have never been deeper, and the emotional wreckage is just scattered all over the canvas. Let us kick things off with the DiMera brothers, because the tension inside that mansion is thick enough to cut with a knife. EJ DiMera is officially cornered, and when EJ is cornered, he lashes out with maximum collateral damage. On Friday, we are going to see EJ aggressively grilling his brother, Chad DiMera, about their late father Stefano DiMera's cryptic chess set. EJ's entire empire is crumbling right before his eyes. Lexi Carver just tragically passed away because Dr. Wilhelm Roth's resurrection serum completely failed. Holly Jonas just viciously ripped into EJ for planting drugs on her and using her as a pawn in his sick corporate cover-up. And now EJ is desperate for control. He is looking at this chess set not just as a puzzle, but as a lifeline. He thinks Stefano left behind some ultimate secret to power, and he is determined to pry it out of Chad's hands by any means necessary. But let's be real for a second. I personally believe that EJ DiMera wants so desperately to be his father, but he fundamentally lacks Stefano's cold, calculated genius. Stefano DiMera was a grandmaster of human chess. He manipulated the residents of Salem with elegance, patience, and terrifying precision. EJ, on the other hand, is just a brute in a tailored suit. He operates on grief, rage, and impulsive violence. This reminds me of what Stefano did back in the day with John Black, turning him into the pawn and orchestrating decades of psychological torture without ever breaking a sweat. EJ could never pull off a long game scheme like that because he is far too emotional. By grilling Chad over this chessboard, EJ is just proving how inadequate he feels compared to the legendary Phoenix. It is a massive inferiority complex playing out in real time, and Chad can see right through his brother's pathetic desperation. Speaking of Stefano's twisted legacy, we have to talk about Marlena Evans and Belle Black. On Friday, Marlena gives Belle a very special keepsake. Now, Peacock TV spoilers. We have been tracking this chess set mystery, and I am entirely convinced that this keepsake is the missing link. Marlena suffered decades of obsession, kidnapping, and psychological torture at the hands of Stefano DiMera. With John Black recently passing away, Marlena is carrying the heavy weight of that trauma all on her own. Giving this keepsake to Belle feels like passing the torch, but it also feels incredibly dangerous. Is it a hidden key? Is it the missing pawn? Whatever it is, Marlena is pulling her daughter deeper into the DiMera web. It is a beautiful mother-daughter moment on the surface, but underneath, it is laced with the terrifying reality that Stefano's ghost is still haunting them from beyond the grave. Now, let us shift gears to the absolute heartbreak happening over at the Kyriakis estate. Xander Cook Kyriakis deserves his flowers right now. Can you believe it? The former ruthless hitman, the guy who used to solve all his problems with violence and intimidation, is showing the most incredible emotional maturity on the canvas. Xander is losing the Kyriakis mansion. Victor Kyriakis' legacy is slipping through his fingers, all because Philip Kyriakis is completely delusional and pitched that insane $5 million high-stakes Monte Carlo poker plan to Gabi Hernandez. Xander blames himself for the loss of the house, which is tragic enough. But here is the kicker. Sarah Horton is packing up baby Victoria and moving in with Brady Black. Xander's entire world is being ripped apart. But when Sarah delivered the news, he did not lose his temper. He stayed polite. He was demonstrably upset. His heart was visibly breaking, but he swallowed his rage for the sake of his daughter. Amazing. And that brings me to the hot take section of today's video. I know this is going to spark a massive debate in the comments, but I have to say it. Sarah Horton is the real villain in this romantic triangle right now. I passionately defend Xander because he has put in the agonizing work to redeem himself, and I will ruthlessly criticize Sarah for what she is doing. Sarah is lying to herself. She is exchanging profound declarations of love with Brady Black, but Brady is nothing more than a safe, boring placeholder. She is using Brady to shield herself from the electric, undeniable chemistry she still has with Xander. It is incredibly cruel to Brady, who is completely oblivious to the fact that he is just a pawn in Sarah's emotional denial, and it is torturous for Xander. If you ask me, this is a huge mistake, because Sarah is going to end up breaking 2 hearts instead of just 1. Across town, the web of secrets is getting even more tangled and dangerous. Kate Roberts Brady is going to ask young Ariana Horton for a highly suspicious favor. Now, we know that Ariana recently overheard a massive marriage-destroying secret regarding Stephanie Kyriakis and Theo Carver's scandalous moment. But if Kate is the one Ari was actually eavesdropping on, this changes everything. Kate has a legendary, toxic history of keeping devastating secrets from Roman Brady. Roman is already on the fence about forgiving Kate for her latest string of lies regarding the Johnny DiMera lawsuit trap. If Kate is roping a teenager into her web of deception to keep yet another secret from Roman, she is playing with fire. Kate's fierce protective streak always ends up destroying her own happiness, and she simply never learns. Finally, we are getting a much-needed reunion between brothers Jack Devereaux and Steve Johnson. Jack is sticking around Salem a little longer because he desperately wants to spend time with Gwen Rischek and do some real father-daughter bonding. Jack carries so much guilt over abandoning Gwen in the past, and it is beautiful to see him trying to make amends and build a genuine relationship. But Steve has a massive ulterior motive for this reunion. Steve is going to talk to Jack about Kayla Brady, specifically hoping that Gwen will step up and use her massive fortune to buy Salem University Hospital. With E.J. DiMera's pharmaceutical drug scandal destroying the hospital's reputation and putting Kayla's medical career under immense stress, Gwen's wealth could be the ultimate saving grace for the entire facility. This leads me to some wild predictive lore. Based on the show's internal logic, if Gwen buys the hospital, she instantly becomes one of the most powerful corporate players in Salem. Imagine Gwen Rischek, the former town pariah, suddenly holding the keys to the hospital and having the absolute power to completely banish E.J. DiMera from the medical board. It would be the ultimate poetic justice after everything E.J. and Dimitri von Leuschner put her through. She could save Kayla's career and solidify her redemption arc in one single brilliant corporate takeover. And you won't believe what happens next if she actually pulls this off. So, I have to ask you guys, do you think Sarah Horton will actually walk down the aisle with Brady Black? Or will Xander Cook Kyriakis finally win back the true love of his life? Drop your hottest theories in the comments below, hit that like button, and do not forget to subscribe to Peacock TV Spoilers for all your daily Salem updates.